Okay, first, I love that you chose this song to represent this model. It's a very great representation of the Christ Victor model of atonement. Um, and it's a beautiful song. I've heard the song for years, sung the lyrics for years. But you brought up like new perspectives of it that I had never thought of because I had always just sung the lyrics, never dug into it. And I loved how you you described Jesus to be against death, hell, and the grave, and like obviously we know that he wasn't on that side or like for death, hell, and the grave. But as you were describing them to be like Jesus to be against the powers of death, hell, and the grave, it gave you there was even more power in you emphasizing Jesus as the victor over those things. So I thought that was a very sweet perspective and a very powerful perspective that I hadn't realized in the song until I listened to your video. Um, and then I found it interesting when you were talking about the lyric that says the veil torn before you and the placement of that. So I was just wondering if you could maybe explain that further because I went and looked at the lyrics and the lyrics to me kind of seem to be like in a like a storyline sequence. Like it starts with like Jesus being the word at the beginning and then it builds up to how our sin was great and that's the reason that he came with love and his love being greater. And then it builds up to how death couldn't hold him. And that's the lyric before the veil tore before you. And then after says, you silenced the boast of sin and grave. And then it continues on to, he has no rival, has no equal. So I would just love if you would maybe just talk about the placement of that a little bit more because I found that interesting. But I loved everything you said, and this was a beautiful song.